Have you ever been just browsing through the Roblox games, like you normally would, and then you find a game that you'd love to play, and you click on it, just normal. You go for the servers, and as you're browsing for the servers, or maybe you're in the game, you see a user that just has something very interesting about them. Maybe they look a bit weird. And then you say, hey, I'm tired of this game, and you go and play another game. And sure enough, when you're playing this game, you see another user who is very similar to the other user, and that say they have the same weird hat or the same body part, or maybe their names are similar. Well, if you didn't know, I've been on Roblox for a long while, and since then I've seen a lot of weird trends come and go. Maybe it'll be with a certain hat or a certain name or a certain item, but there have been this fair share of very weird trends and just things a lot of users seem to do. I mean, starting with one of the most recent trends I've seen, maybe you've seen someone with one of these face masks on their character. Or how about this one? Maybe this one? Maybe even this one. But I mean, all in all, it seems like everyone and their brother is dressing in some form of this. And I mean, I can see this is kind of a cute face mask, but I really don't understand why it's so popular. I mean, like, seriously, go on any game and you're guaranteed to see someone at least wearing this bear face mask. Like, seriously, I'm not even joking. And as of recently, I've seen another trend pop up, like as in the last month or so, and this one I really don't understand, and it's just kind of weird if you ask me. Now, chances are you've probably seen someone wearing the woman package. It's pretty popular, right? Looks sort of typical. Now, have you just joined a game recently, maybe some roleplay game or something, and you see a ton of girls dressed like this? What is this? So what is this, some weird troll outfit or something? Well, the real answer is actually a bit less weird. See, in-game and from the profile page, it may look, well, a bit odd. But if you thought to try it with R15... Extra thick! Now, the thing that most of these trends have in common is that they really all die within a couple of months or something. But if there's one trend that has lasted forever, then it's probably the ice arms. What are the ice arms? Well, have you ever seen someone walking around in game looking like this? Or maybe this? Now, I mean, this one I can kind of understand, because back in 2011 when I first started Roblox, I honestly used to do this all the time. Like putting some weird arm on the left side of my arm or right side, something like that, so I kind of get it. But back in my day, it was the Doombringer arm and the peg leg. Now, of course, if we're talking about trends, we have to go into username trends. Now, there haven't been that many username trends currently, but back when I joined, at least up until like 2014, one of the most popular trends was a username trend. We should probably take a look at Super Cool Dude 64 here. Now, Super Cool Dude 64 is a pretty cool dude, am I right? But there's one thing about him, he's just not that cool. He has it in his name, but he's really not that cool. Look at this noob over here. He has cool in his name, but he's just a noob. Poor Super Cool Dude 64. You just want to be cool like your friend, don't you? But Super Cool Dude 64, I've got the solution for you. Just pay 1,000 Robux to the Roblox gods and change your username. And you don't need to change really it at all. You just need to add something to it. Super Cool Dude 64 is a pretty cool username, but I think it's missing something, Super Cool Dude 64. How about you just add an XX in the title? That'll make you 20 times cooler. Oh my god, Super Cool Dude 64, I was so wrong about you. You are so cool now, just look at your name. Man, Super Cool Dude 64, I bet you're so cool now. You're just so happy. But what if I told you could be cooler? Yeah, sorry, Super Cool Dude. I know it's something, you're already cool, but again, we can make you cooler. No, the solution's simple. Let's go and change your name again. There we are, just add another XX in it. That'll make you 50 times cooler. Now everyone will love you. Oh my gosh, Super Cool Dude. You are so cool now. I can't take it. Teach me the ways of you. Now, I've really never understood the whole XX thing. If you actually have an XX in your name, whatever, you do you. But seriously, I just don't get it. But if there's another username trend that was pretty popular a couple of years ago, it has to go to the Apple products, otherwise known as II. Now, how about you just go to the search bar? Now, once you're in the search bar, just go and type in any random word, but add an II in front of it, and I guarantee you'll see a ton of people. If you go and scroll down here, say we have I fish and chips, I fish hook hay, I fish girl 24, I fish king. And I mean, I really don't understand the appeal of being an Apple product because, I mean, really, I guess it kind of gets you some sort of monetary value because they're going to be overpriced. But again, I really don't understand the appeal of being an Apple product. No, if I had to pick another sort of weird trend, I'd have to go with Roblox and Myth Hunters, another sort of newer trend. Now, the thing itself is not that weird. It's actually pretty cool. I like the whole idea of like creepypastas and stuff like that. It's not that weird at face value. What's weird is some of the content. Now, to understand, you kind of have to know what Roblox and Myth Hunters is. You know, if you're in any game and blah blah blah, scary game, that's sort of what Myth Hunters is. You know, fighting off the dreaded ghost and dreaded evilness of players such as John Doe or one times one times one times one. You know, the whole ideal that these guys are such big hackers, even though they weren't at all. But I mean, hey, let's not ruin the fun here, okay? Anyhow, if you want to see the weirdness of this, you kind of have to go to the Roblox and Creepypasta Wiki, which actually exists, and it's kind of cool the amount of dedication that's going into this. Sort of like an SCP wiki, if that makes sense. Now, again, most of this is fairly standard. You got your standard stuff, like again, one times one times one, even though, if you're actually like getting your information from here, all of this is completely wrong. Like seriously, I've never seen so much false information in my life, but I mean, it's fun to look at. It's fun and it's meant to be creepy, sort of like creepy pastas. But again, you don't take this at face value because this stuff is completely false. Then you got your other infamous hackers like Jared Valdez and Dignity.
Oh, no, 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 no.
No, again, for context, most of these stories are just creepy pastas. One times one was not a hacker, Dignity was not a hacker, and Jared Valdez definitely wasn't a hacker to my knowledge. Anyhow, most of this stuff is just standard creepypastas. You know, they're all pretty cool and well written. They're just creepypastas. They're just meant to be, you know, campfire stories, not real or anything like that. But the reason why I'm showing this is because just like maybe SCPs or something, there are a few stories on here that are just amazing and honestly some of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Like, I mean, have you heard of some of the weirder SCPs like SCP-3006? Otherwise known as literally Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town? Well, there's sort of a similar thing going on with this, and if you just go to the search bar and just type in some random word like potato, let's see what comes up when we type in potato. Well, what comes up is some pretty weird stories, and there are a lot of fairly well-written stories on this website, a lot of fairly well-written myths and creepypastas and stuff, but then you get some of the weirder ones. Yeah, Now I'm actually going to post the link to this website down below. And there are a lot of fairly well-written stories on this site, but there are also a lot of really weird or poorly written ones. So I'm going to ask you guys just to browse this website for a couple of minutes and tell me what you find. Tell me what weird stuff you find on this website. But again, don't take it with face value because almost everything on this website is completely false with little to no actual research done into it.